Are you ready, Steve? We've got some very big news to announce. T-Rex, are you ready? If you are, can you do the T-Rex triple hop? Yes, yes, and yes. All right, thank you. Announcing, ladies and gentlemen, cirrus clouds. No, I'm kidding. It is 55 degrees here and it's 10:30. Boy, are we late on a Thursday, October 23rd. We're a week away from Halloween. And that is the time period when generally there's some kind of big storm around. And there will be, but that's not the big news. The big news is what happened today on Instagram. I'm not that good at Instagram, but I found Sundays in the Park. An intrepid, enthusiastic hiker went to the summit of Mount Washington and made the first turns of the season. So the 25-26 snow riding season has begun. Snow slider. It doesn't matter whether you're on a board or on two planks. I don't care what you're on. It counts. Acceleration due to gravity on snow happened today. So Mount Washington now has been snowing off and on for 3 days. We did pick up a half inch last week. That all kind of went away. But then starting about 3 days ago, what was it, on a Monday or so, just at the very top of the mountain, it's been snowing off and on. The Monday snow melted, but then the Tuesday night, Wednesday, and last night's snow is still there. And that's where you got another about inch last night. So that brings us to about 3 inches. And with that wind up there, you can find some packing and some drifting and enough to make some turns. So the ski season has begun in New England. Call it the ski season, even though snowboarders just call it riding. So we have a very interesting weather day today with the cirrus cloud here. Usually that cirrus indicates warm air advection up in the sky. And it's complicated. I'm going to try and simplify it and go a little faster today. Let's see if we can't get it done in less than 20 minutes. And I'll just tell you that this morning the dew points were still in the 40s in a lot of spots, getting down into the 30s. And we're getting some colder air that's not just up in the sky. It's coming down to the ground, but it's not really a deep cold air mass yet. It was 30 degrees this morning in Whitefield, New Hampshire, with a dew point in the 30s. So we have what's called low barometer cold, and the surface map this afternoon shows low pressure in southeastern Canada and a triple play of cold fronts, one cold front all the way to Florida. Orange dashed line indicates a spoke of energy. It looks like we have orange dashed lines with the cold fronts, which are blue, another one in Tennessee, and yet another coldest front coming across Michigan with the first lake effect precipitation of the season happening now with colder air, but with low pressure to your north and high pressure well off to the west. Oh, incidentally, go back to that. The storm there in New Mexico and another one coming in the northwest United States, southwestern Canada. These storms from the Pacific are coming in and they're going down to the south on the west side of the Greenland Block. And then next week, they're expected to lift back toward the north. And we may end up with a major storm on the East Coast within a week. A lot of moving parts. But the dynamic in New England that I want to focus on is the fact that this low to our north, low barometer cold, unstable, mostly just cold up in the sky, is going to be replaced by higher pressure as we get into the weekend. And here is the map that I haven't even really looked at for Saturday. I'm just assuming that there was a big H near Ontario, and that's going to be colder air at all levels of the atmosphere. High barometer cold is more stable, so precipitation will likely be shutting down after we have some intermittent over the next 2 days, off and on, mostly rain. The snow level is still above 4,000 feet, and there's a chance it'll get down below 4,000 feet. I looked at the Killington cam this morning, and it was still just kind of foggy and drizzly. The snow guns are ready in case it gets cold enough to turn them on, and I think it might tomorrow and Saturday. But the cold that's coming in, it looks like it does want to stick around a bit, and it's only really cold enough to make snow above 3,800 feet, so I'm not sure if it's even going to happen or not. So this is that's the result of the low barometer cold, and I can show you another illustration using the Mount Washington temperature profile there. It was in the mid 20s up around 62, 88 at the summit. But you get down to 4,000 feet and the temperature was still 34 degrees. So there it is. And that's the reason we're not getting snow below 4,000 feet. And, you know, everyone says, probably most of my viewers say, what do you care? Well, I care because a lot of my friends will hike to the top of a mountain to make turns, like Sundays in the Park did this morning. So let's see, what should I talk about next? The satellite image shows the clouds arcing. I think yesterday I said clockwise. It's counterclockwise around our latest cyclogenesis yesterday, which is now in southeastern Canada, and clouds with precipitation. And so those instability showers with some upper level energy and a weak surface trough are going to rotate through today. So mostly high elevations, west and north, get some showers today and maybe some small hail in some spots. And we didn't really get the thunderstorms yesterday, did we? But we got a good amount of precipitation. Oh yeah, I should show you the rainfall winners. And yesterday, here is the Coco Raz. We had more than an inch of rain in central Massachusetts and less than a quarter of an inch of rain on Cape Cod. That's for southern New England, where we don't really need the rain, but where we really do need the rain in northern New England. Yesterday, another inch near Gorham, New Hampshire. That's all rain. And in parts of Vermont, looked like more like a half inch, and southern Maine looks like another half inch. And then I want to show you since Monday. These numbers are great, and it's very important here. This is actually the most important factor. In the extreme drought zone of New England, Underhill, Vermont, picked up close to 4 inches of rain. That's the most I've seen. And parts of New Hampshire and western Maine and central Maine also came in with 2 to 3 inches of rain. So in the extreme drought zone, this is what really counts to help us in the weather pattern and fill those snowmaking ponds with water and hopefully recharge your wells. All right, so what's Melissa doing? Melissa is still a fairly sheared out storm, tropical storm, just kind of sitting there in the central Caribbean. And the cone of uncertainty, how often do you see this, where the cone of uncertainty is a big circle and it includes the current position of where Melissa is? That is so unusual, with the cone just being so big and not pointing in any single direction, and including where it is right now. It's not going to stay that way forever, though. Okay, oh, we break for fancy boats plying the waters. We got a fancy boat plying the water here on the Great Gulf of Weymouth, where I'm passing 8 minutes. There's no way I'm going to make this under 20 today. And that is Cat Mint that Steve is enjoying. And so now let's go to, this is just a wonderful advance. Wait a minute, this is just too cool to not watch. Beautiful, look at that. Luxury ride. That would be four-season boating right there, no doubt. Live on that one. Is that an outboard? It's even got an outboard, probably 2 outboards. Not in a hurry Thursday. Where's the Thursday front? There is a Thursday front. There are the clouds way north of Boston. Oh, showing off for us. It's a test drive. Does this captain know he's on Out the Door Weather and More? Whee! A good choice not hitting that buoy. That was great. All right, what was I talking about? Hurricane Melissa. It's not a hurricane, Tim. Google DeepMind is changing the landscape. This is a free website, Google Weather Lab, and we are all invited to go. Google's going to take this over to weather forecasting, and it runs the ensemble. Yesterday I talked about how there's not just an operational model, there's the spaghetti plots, which you all know, and it's called the ensemble. And then you go with the ensemble mean, and you can run it, and the ensemble has a couple more members, with Melissa coming up the East Coast next week, but just a couple members. The mean of the ensemble, the operational, is going to take Melissa closer to Bermuda than New England, but there'll be ramifications up and down the coast, just as there have been all season long. Even though the hurricanes and tropical storms have been missing the United States, there's been a lot of energy that has been sort of transfused into the fronts that have been stalled in the east. We talked about this so much, the fronts in Florida and how they've been injected with tropical moisture, and we've had a lot of rain from Florida to Cape Cod this summer, and it looks like we're going to do that again next week. So cut to the chase and run the Euro now. Just show the Euro. Instability, rain and snow showers, snow levels today are still at about 4,500. And then tomorrow, there's the last of this little upper pulse that's been impacting us the last few days. At one point, it was supposed to be cyclogenesis tomorrow. No, it is not cyclogenesis. It is just a short wave with some more upper level energy with a few instability raindrops in western and northern New England. Snowflakes tomorrow may come down to 3,800 feet. So your top of Mount Mansfield, your top of Jay Peak may get coated with a ½ inch or an inch of snow briefly tomorrow night. And then over the weekend, now we have high pressure building in southeastern Canada. That's more stable, even though there is an upper level low. And you have the storms coming out of the Pacific Northwest, and it's warmer now. So where it was snowing a couple of weeks ago in California to the Rockies, there's a ridge now in the west. So that's rain that's coming across and going down into Texas. And then there's a powerful storm, number 1, going across from Texas to about South Carolina here on Monday and Tuesday. And note, at this point yesterday, the Euro had us snowing and rain, and there is an upper level low, but there's a surface high. So I called about incongruity, and it shows less precipitation here next Tuesday. But this next system coming across the southeastern states is slowing down. Now Melissa is on the move across Cuba and moving into the Bahamas, with this storm slowing down over the mid-Atlantic states and powering north for a 975 to 980 millibar low, perhaps doing the blizzard loop that is cutting off stalling and looping well south of New England. But obviously, we are in the heavy rain and some purple there, snow perhaps, or a wintry mix in our mountains. And this solution is different than the last several days. We know it's going to be different again tomorrow, but this is a plausible output for next Thursday into Friday. And that low pressure system is going to tend to weaken and lift out. If this is accurate by Halloween morning, we're going to stop it right here, which is now day 8. And it's a 985 weakening nor'easter pulling off the map to the right there, southeast of New England. And there's Hurricane Melissa, well south of where it had it yesterday, in the order of 950 to 960 millibars. So that would be a major hurricane headed more toward Bermuda than New England. But the interaction of these two systems is still a lot of work. It's nowhere near how it's going to come out, but this is an option that's on the table. So I'd say that the confidence for a major storm off the coast of North America, the United States next week is almost a certainty, but timing and placing and depth and intensity and whether it's cold enough for snow, that is still a huge wild card. And it would show warm in the west. The Rockies are getting a warm wave, and there's another low coming across the Great Lakes. And eventually that cold from the Greenland Block here in eastern Canada will be lifting out. Just not sure when and how. And incidentally, I did see the GFS with a blizzard loop major storm for us next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, with the Melissa going way out to the south, not even having anything to do with that. So the GFS is discounted past 120 hours, and even this Euro is very low confidence. All right, that's the end of the weather part of this. We've got a handsome cat. We've got another boat. We've got a nice Thursday, but Thursdays have been the days of the fronts. And there is a front, but it's just kind of several fronts. So yesterday, chasing rainbows, TK leaving Cape Cod and counting pretty trees. I love counting pretty trees and Halloween decorations. I don't think I got too many of those. And then coming home and watching the sun go down here, get toward the horizon with Mitt and Steve. It's called Yesterday's Weather Today. In more. Let's start in more early. It's 9:15 and we've got a blue sky and it's raining. How cool is this? I got my socks on so I can't really go out. And there could be a rainbow. I think Bowie, good morning. It's sunny, but it's raining. How does that happen? Bowie. Yeah. I just can't stop. It's called nowcasting. We talked about it. And now there could be a rainbow because the sun is pretty low in the sky. We're gonna have to come down here, past the old lilac, look into So now each raindrop becomes a prism, refracting and reflecting light. When you look toward the sun, you're not going to see a rainbow, but you do see really pretty colors. And you hear a very enthusiastic buoy who I know just wants to say hello. And then if there is a rainbow, wow, I can really feel it in the back of my neck, the sun that is. It would be over in that direction. But too many things blocking. But just wonderful, fun, dynamic weather with the rain. And look at that, is the sky over Fallon's Pond. Wow. Do you think I am a little overly passionate? No, Tim, keep it going, keep it going. All right, rainbow watch in effect. Maybe late in the day somewhere too. Let's see where we end up. Long way to go from here though, isn't there? 12:30 now on Wednesday midday. We're getting out of the occluded air. I believe we're getting into the cold air advection now. Wind's picking up from the west, and you can tell it's very unstable, but it's drying out quickly, so I'm pretty confident we're done with the rain on Cape Cod. But it's going to be a dramatic afternoon as we go back to the Cats and Dog in Weymouth. More and more and more. Clouds are really moving now. This is so exciting. Anna, we're going away in the middle of November. Might you have room for a T-Rex around the 14th of November? Amy, Jim, your house is getting improved under this beautiful changing sky. More and more and more. All right, gonna drive north now. Come on, Tim. Let's get serious. I am serious. All right. Oh, look at that beautiful tree. Get a new awning too, huh? Grass is coming in nice. A little drink of water this morning. I don't know, these leaves are getting a little out of control, don't you think? Kidding. I've got grass envy. That's the only thing going on here with me. I return this book to Dolores, The Nature of Oaks. So much to know about oak trees. Acorns go deep and they go wide. Dad planted this acorn the year before I was born. I consider it a member of the family. Subsidence behind cyclogenesis. McQuaid. Vintage car alert. Cool. Hanover, Norwell, Hingham, beauty. Oak trees still green. Come south for the foliage. Yeah, ignore all the idiot lights. This car has some wiring issues, but 70 degrees above and beyond the call. I guess I thought we were getting into the cold air advection, but I think this is still occluded air advection. Pretty warm. So colder air is going to come in from the southwest. Trees are half denuded. Okay, more turkeys. This time we're in Weymouth, almost home. Wonderful color of the trees and texture with the sky. The low clouds of autumn. Very Halloween-y. Lots of great Halloween decorations. Beautiful. Stretch it out, Steve. Yeah. All right, let's call it a day. Things are going not so well in other departments. You want to go over to the edge? Go ahead. Beautiful sky. What a fun day. Nice 70 degrees on my dashboard thermometer. It seems legit too. Colder air coming in up in the sky. The overnight guidance brought potential Hurricane Melissa closer to the coast. And that possibility for a Halloween storm got a little greater since this morning. What about overnight? We look at the morning guidance and consider it, but then when we talk on Out the Door Weather and More, we use the overnight guidance, which will be in about midnight or so. So that's what I study when I wake up with the sun at 7 in the morning. Thanks for all your comments. Good to see we got another dose of water in southeastern New Hampshire and northern New England. Just in time. Now how much snow and how low is the snow level going to come. Get the piano music. Get the hum of that little boat. And we got sun getting farther south every single day. All right, that's a wrap for today. Hold on. Cut the piano music. We've got a cuteness alert. We're not quite done. Never done, am I? That's the cuteness alert right there. Symmetric Maine Coon cats. And hundreds of cormorants. Not in a hurry. Every day for Mitt. And Steve enjoying the breeze. You guys, turn around, look at the birds. They know winter is coming. I don't know if cormorants are migrating or not, but they're certainly gathering. Must be some fish in the water. See some fishing lines in the water. Hello, Winthrop. All right. Who can resist a couple of Maine Coons and keep the and more going a little bit longer? All right. And the sun here at 5:15 now. Getting closer to the horizon. Still fairly comfortable. And there it is, just over the Four River Bridge. We'll be splitting those uprights around Halloween, with or without a storm. The sun's gonna keep on moving further south because winter is coming. Wow, that flagpole has a really bright top, doesn't it? Very good. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.